Man, hey man, say man. We throwing in 3 cups of flour, a little activated dry yeast. Get that water nice and warm. Throw some sugar in there. Yeah, buddy. Gotta activate that shit. Sprinkle that tablespoon and a tablespoon. Mix that shit in real nice. Get it. Get it. Boom. Now we watch it rise. Usually 5 minutes. Sometimes you can do 10. If you do more when it's properly warm with the right amount of sugar, that shit rise up like Lazarus. Now we're gonna throw a little olive oil in there and mix it all up nice. Don't be slow. Don't be slow, whether you're doing it by hand or with a mixer. Get that shit a good 10-minute mix. That right there is about 30, 45 minutes worth of rising. Sometimes you can just pull it out and do it. This is all kind of bootleg. So we just doing what we do. Break it down, throw it out. You gotta knead that shit. Something about gluten and a bunch of other scientific shit I have no idea about. But one of the things I've seen most people do is the folds. And so I'm attempting to do the folds at this stage of the game. It's a little sticky, so I throw that motherfucking flour on there and get it nice. Rub it in, work it in, and flip it. I've seen videos and heard people say you gotta roll it this way, that way, and the third, and I absolutely understand. But right now, this being my 5th or 6th pizza, I'm really trying to just figure out the dough ratio and everything that I need to do to make it nice and burnt at the bottom. Not crazy burnt, but just crisp with that nice fluff. You gotta flatten that shit out. Now, depending on what you're rolling, everybody says you gotta roll it this way, that way, and the third. This was pretty productive for me, just kind of being a little chaotic with it. But other than that, I try to roll my naan and all this other stuff more towards the traditional ways. But I'm hungry, so we just bootlegging right now. So that dough is thick, but it's super loose. And I caught a tear, so I had to patch it up real quick. None of that is going to be store-bought perfect at all right now. But I'm just still trying to figure out how to work the dough. Everybody like, well, do this, do that, and the third, man. I understand. But being a little bit on the humble side, we all have to practice. And this is definitely a practicing moment. Getting that crust nice and big, and I was like, man, stuffed crust from Pizza Hut. Not all of it worked out, so we did more like baby mozzarella sticks. Word of advice though, if you do a stuffed crust, pile that fucking cheese in there. Just a little handful, a little baby handful, ain't gonna be worth shit. Throw that Alfredo on there, cause tomato sauce make my stomach hurt. A little slap your mama, cause why not? And now the cheeses. Use whatever cheese you want. By no means am I trying to pontificate that this isn't an exact Italian dish by any means. I'm just trying to make something good. Throw that turkey pepperoni in there, cause that pork made me sick. If you like the pork, more power to you. I just can't eat it. Rock and dot, all that shit. See, and this is where I tried to make the stuffed crust by adding just a smidge more of mozzarella. Terrible fucking choice. Tried it again over here on this side. Neither worked. It did something to the crust. It was good. It didn't hurt it at all. It added a little but it wasn't by any means a Pizza Hut stuffed crust. Add some of that beef summer sausage. I feel like it look like my cheese ain't shit on there. But I promise, even after I layer it on there a few more times, it gets a lot cheesier. It just don't look it. And anyway, I'm on a budget. If you on a budget, man, you gotta have that cheese for a week. You gotta budget that cheese. Shit. Man, I can't even tell you about that Kinder's. Their Kinder seasoning, their Kinder barbecue sauce. Man, that's a go-to seasoning company. My problem with this one was I added a little too less. My last pizza, I added a lot more and it was a little too sweet. This one, it gave the tang, but not the way it needed to be. So I had just a little bit more. A bunch of cheese later. What it do? It's cooking. Shit's cooking. And my annoying ass fucking cat. That motherfucker looked big, but that bitch is about fucking 4 inches long. Yeah, there we go. That pizza looking good now. I should have shown a video of the bottom of it because it was nice and crispy. Not every part of it, but just good 50-50 ratio. Get that crunch. That shit had that pop. We was doing it. Poor man's pizza.